Hi everyone! Welcome to another YouTube video on my channel. My name is Julie Ann Fay and I'm a professional astrologer and certified angel card reader. I also do soul coaching. You can find a lot more about what I do at my website, juliannfay.com, which is in the description box of this video. And this will be kind of a mid-July pick a card astro energy update. I know that the full moon in Capricorn was last weekend, but that weekend actually coincided with when I was recording my content for my monthly membership groups. I have a Fearlessly Fairy group where I do weekly card messages and an Astro Fairy group where I do weekly Astro messages. So I was super busy with that and also integrating the energies of the full moon Cap eclipse myself. So, and we're also in Merc Retro, which we're coming out of shortly soon now. It's going direct actually tomorrow, although we'll take a bit of time to catch up to its full speed. So here we are, it's almost mid-June, and I've decided to kind of give us the love and the benefit of just doing a pick a card. And I do have the full moon in Capricorn chart. I'm going to go over a couple highlights because keep in mind that when we do have a newer full moon, it does take up to 2 weeks to integrate the messages of that eclipse. It can be longer if it's got, or sorry, up to 2 weeks to integrate that newer full moon, but it can be longer if it's got eclipse energy attached to it. So the messages in that chart are very much going to be in effect for another week, and the eclipse energy in that chart will be in effect being integrated for 6 more months. So also in the description box of this video, I will be putting timestamps. So if you're interested in just that astro piece, feel free to fast forward to that. Although I hope you don't. I hope you stay for the pick a cards. I know people love pick a cards. So we're going to start with that first. And the way I'm going to do this is that I've already pre-picked the piles. I haven't looked at them yet, so I'll be enjoying them for the first time, just as you will be. And I have 3 different piles. So I'm going to hold up the cards, just the backs of the cards, for you to get an energetic feel for what those piles are. And they're all going to look the same, but they're going to have different energy frequencies or imprints, and different energetic imprints. So this would be a good time if you are feeling really scattered and really ungrounded to pause this video, take a deep breath, and just get back into a really yin state, a very, very receptive state, so that you can tune into your intuition and what is best for you to hear right now. And although this message will be I will be introducing this for mid-July messages you need to hear, you are welcome to come back to this video and pick a different pile at another time, or just use this video as a timeless pick a card as well, because the energy here can always be returned back to for messages at any time. So what else do I want to say? The decks that I will be using tonight are Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman. I haven't used these in a million years. And fun fact, this is actually the very first card deck set that I ever bought. I was studying this program called Inner Mean Girl Reform School, and I was starting to get just a little bit into spirituality. I was doing my Kundalini yoga, which I didn't know was like unblocking my chakras, like low-key, high-key, but this was one of the first decks I bought, and then of course slowly I got more and more addicted, and I became certified and so many more things. So it'll be exciting to kind of go back into some of these cards. So I've got that. I actually have my Astro dice, which I will be rolling for you guys once we go to your particular tile. I have Cheryl Richardson's self-care cards, because we got a lot of energies going on right now, and we really do need to be focusing on self-care. It is Cancer season. And then I have my one of my earlier tarot decks I bought, which is by The Lion Strider's Journey by Ciolo Thompson. This is the accompanying book. I didn't keep the box because the box was huge-antic. But that's what we got for today. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is pile number 1. If you'd like to pick pile number 1, I'm going to kind of hide because those Cheryl Richardson cards don't really have, they don't really have backside. They have information on both sides. So this is the energy of pile number 1. if you'd like to tune into that. Pile number 1. Pile number 1. So this is pile number 1. Just setting an intention for all who need to receive the messages of pile number 1 to have the clarity and confidence to pick this pile so that they can be aligned with what they need if this is the right pile for them. Something just flew in my eye. Pile number 2. This is the energy of pile number 2. So setting an intention that all of those lovely souls out there that need to receive the energy and guidance of pile number 2, that they have the clarity and confidence to pick pile number 2 and be in alignment with these messages that they most need to hear right now. And then pile number 3. This is the energy cards for pile number 3. Setting the intention that all those who need to receive pile number 3 have the confidence and clarity to pick this pile so that they can be aligned with messages they most need to see, hear, feel, and understand right now. All right, I'm ready to begin. Let's get into it. My Astro dice here. Put that right there. Might be a little noisy, just FYI. I don't know how loud it's going to be. We'll figure it out. Okay, so those of you that picked pile 1, let's see what we got. This is also going to be, you know, we've got 5 cards for each pile, so these are going to be kind of micro messages, but I feel it'll be just enough for you to receive some guidance for mid-July 2020 / timeless if you're watching this at a different time. So right away from Cheryl Richardson's self-care cards, we have wait. I got this message about something recently too. And it says, honor your resistance. Sometimes no action is the best action of all. So we have wait. We have the Emperor in reverse. These cards are really cool. They're very like sketch watercolor kind of thing. I've also learned that the way that the cards appear when I'm recording this oftentimes is not as crisp as they are as the final kind of product that goes on YouTube once like I've actually compressed the file and all of that. So hopefully you guys can see them really well. We have 7 of Pentacles here. 7 of Pentacles. We have Knight of Cups. This is literally, no shade to those who love Knight of Cups, but this is literally my least favorite card in the tarot because every time I have to like recheck the meaning and I'm like, what does this card mean? It just feels so abstract to me. Unlike a lot of other cards in the deck where like I always like I immediately get it, or it's just like, yeah, I love that card or I vibe with that card. This is the one card that I'm like, seriously. I just like have to check the meaning like 20 times, I swear, because it just never sticks for some reason. And then we have Balance from Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Now, what's really cool about the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards is that these cards actually have stories attached to them. So if you are really new to doing Oracle cards, this is a really fun deck to work with because it's organized by chakra type. So it's color-coded by chakras, so you can use it that way. And then it also has, so for example, this has, it looks blue, but it is purple. This has a purple background, or purple border, I should say. So that one is in the section with all of the purple crown chakra cards. And then what we do is we turn to, oh no, is it blue? I'll swear to you, this is purple. Here it is. So then we look at the corresponding story for that one. And she includes a little story about it, key ideas, keywords, and then an accompanying meditation and affirmation. So it is kind of a different vibe, and maybe we will dip into that a little bit. And then let's also roll your Astro dice. So I'm just going to use the box of on my decks here. Okay. So you guys have Jupiter. Oops, Jupiter just switched to Saturn. Let's confirm. Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, we're going to go with Saturn. It just literally changed its mind at the last minute. Not surprising because Mercury is retro. So you have the 6th house with Saturn and Aries. Okay. 6th house. So it's interesting because you did get the Emperor card here and you have it in reverse. Okay. And you also have the Weight card, which is kind of Saturnian because Saturn is blocks and delays, slowing things down a little bit so that you can follow the steps to do it the right way. And then you also have, you know, balance, which tells me that you might have some competing energies going on. If you are watching this weekend, just by chance, if I can get this video up really quickly, and you're watching this either later tonight or tomorrow, you know, so effectively like late July 11th or especially July 12th, even into July 13th a bit, depending upon when the moon is changing signs. The moon is transiting through Aries. So there is a little bit of a battle going on as we get to the moon transiting through the end of Aries, where it will be squaring over to a lot of energy in Capricorn. Saturn is there at the end of Capricorn, Jupiter, and of course Pluto, which has been a long-term transit. So there is this energy competition between impulsivity and this desire to like want to do it now versus the desire to be very methodical about it and want to do it right. And the truth is that the answer is that neither of them are 100% correct. You actually have to work on achieving a balance between the two. So the answer is to not delay so much out of extreme perfection that you like don't do it, because time is of the essence and it would be valuable for you to take action on it. So you want to embrace that Aries energy for that. But you also don't want to like just rush it, you know, be like, I got to do it, so I got to do it now and like crank it out in an hour. If it's something that maybe would benefit from you looking at it, you know, one day, reviewing it, kind of organizing some details about it, and then finishing it the next day. So there's a little bit here of a need for moderation and to just be patient with yourself and be patient with the energies as, you know, you are working on this thing. And I get the sense that this could be something that might be a little bit of a tedious task because we do have Saturn, but this completely resonates with the Astro dice, you know, with this Saturn and Aries. It's like balancing these competing energies of wanting to do something for work, career, stability in your life, some type of karmic responsibility in some type of way, but also having this desire to like rush into it or try to like, you know, do it like real, you know, the Aries way. You know, it's sort of like the difference between using a rice cooker versus an Instapot. You're going to get results from both, but the quality of the food from, you know, the rice cooker of the rice, which could take up to, you know, I have rice cooker. It's like my most important kitchen appliance. Or no, it's definitely tied between my blender, but I guess if I had to choose one, it would be the blender. But even with the blender, right? Like it seems very Aryan where it's like, okay, like it's fast, but you still have to prep the ingredients. You know, if I make smoothies, sometimes I freeze the bananas. So that requires a little bit of meal prepping, thinking about some creativity. What is it I'm going to put together? You know, so really like good things do take time. And if we rush things or if we approach them with more of this like immature energy of like, just want to crank it out, just want to get it over with, just want to get it done, well, then you're going to get results that reflect that. So Saturn is saying like, I'm aware that you have needs, but let's try to, well, Saturn is trying to say, I would like to temper that a little bit, you know, and I'm going to slow down some of these energies. I might put some blocks or delays in your path so that you can do it the right way. The fact that you have the Emperor in reverse tells me that this need for like that stable Saturnian hand is a little bit absent right now. So you might be feeling that, you know, impulsivity. And I get the sense that this is around something related to, you know, because we do have the Seven of Pentacles, and I love this card is like the feather in your nest card. That's one of the reasons why I love this card for that, because we do have a bird that's in a nest, and it's just got like a lot of little possessions gathered in its nest, you know. So this is like the feather in your nest card. And then we have Knight of Cups, which is about, you know, intuition and creativity and enthusiasm. You know, this is kind of like if we were to put Aries with Cancer together in some type of way, it brings this like, it can have a little bit of an immature energy, but it also brings this like just really beautiful, I mean, it's really Piscean energy, actually, I should say. It brings this very like beautiful Piscean energy of just being tapped into this creativity and this beauty and this intuition, you know. So I think this thing that needs your attention and needs work is something that's supporting you to feather your nest. It could even be career related, money related, job related, something there, housing related, you know. And it's something that you're like really crushing on. It's something that, you know, you feel enthusiasm about, because the Page of Cups card is also like a message of love, you know, a message of artistry, a message of just that heart opening, right? So you're excited about this. You are excited about this thing that's here, and you're a little bit torn between like, oh my gosh, this has to get done, and I feel this like super intense drive of like, do it now, versus like, okay, maybe I need to be a little bit patient with myself and think about all the pieces, you know, before I crank it out. And because we do have the Emperor reverse, this to me is like the main message card. Right now your work is on getting this card upright. It's really looking at, okay, how can I take this situation with these competing energies, these competing needs, these competing feelings, you know, and how can I find a way to approach it with some logic, with some structure, with some order, and kind of come up with a plan here about it, you know. Let me pull one more card for you guys, just as a little bit of a bonus. And I do feel like this is work, responsibility, career, could even be housing related, because we do have the sixth house here. This is about work and being of service. And then we do have Saturn, which again is about work. So I really do feel like this is about work. It could be for a very small amount of you. This could be about diet and healthy routines, because it is the sixth house. But I think for the majority of you, this is work and career related. I'm not really getting a lot of like relationship vibes with this. You know, but we'll see what our bonus card is. So what's a bonus card for pile number 1, peeps? We got Knight of Wands. This perfectly fits. So Knight of Wands is the like, you know, it's kind of like this impulsive energy. It's an excited energy. It's like, yes, let's go for it. Let's do it now. So it's an enthusiasm energy, and it's exciting. It also carries the caution, though, of not being overly impulsive and overly rushing things. You know, I'm thinking about a super specific scenario with this whole reading that's like super resonating with me. You know, so as I've been talking about this, whatever's been coming to mind, that is something important that you need to be aware of, to like definitely do it. The message is don't delay per se, because I think Saturn's already kind of delaying it a little bit for you anyway. Don't delay per se. That kind of rhymes. Don't delay per se, but do make sure that you do your diligence to like dot your I's and cross your T's and really examine it, look at it carefully, weigh out, you know, the different sides of it. Do approach it from a balanced energy. Maybe part of the problem is just that you yourself are very ungrounded or unbalanced, and you need to take a little bit of me time first, you know, some self-care time. You know, with Saturn in the 6th, this could even be like, maybe you, and the areas there, it's like maybe you've been rushing yourself to do a lot of things. You've been overdoing a lot. So you might have to take even just a day to kind of unplug and take some extra care of your health, you know? And then once you're ready to do the task the next day, you can approach it with such crisper energy, and it will be flowing so much better. So I'm sending you all love, pile number 1. I hope that message is really helpful to you. Fairy kisses, and have a good rest of July. Much love. pile number 2 peeps. Let's see what we have for you. So these are your cards. I'm going to take a peek now for the first time. Actually, I also want to pull your Astro dice, or rather roll your Astro dice. So let's do that. Okay, so pile number 2 peeps. We have, we've got some interesting stuff here piled. So we've got self-love from Cheryl Richardson. It says on the back, care for your body. Self-love and self-acceptance are the ultimate acts of self-care. So we have self-love, and this really is about kind of body support, body, not really body confidence, more like just nourishing and supporting your body with like nourishing food, potentially, you know, massage or body work if you can find a way to get that done somehow, or even just like body movement, you know, but this need for self-love and just being really nurturing with yourself right now. You have Queen of Swords and Page of Swords. So I think you've been going through a lot of energies which have been requiring you to be very precise and exacting with your communication. And this could be related to, you know, situations in which Page of Swords, the shadow side of Page of Swords is typically would show up in reverse, but the shadow side of Page of Swords can be about gossip and like people talking and just like frivolous conversation that's like actually not loving or supportive. It's just like talking to talk, you know, kind of thing. And because we have the Queen of Swords there, I get the sense that you are more of the Queen of Swords energy, and people around you maybe have been more Page of Swords. You've been really on point with what you have to say, and you've been really on your game with communicating and being clear. But I think some people around you maybe have been a little bit more immature in their communication. And I do think that that's maybe taken an energetic toll on you because we have that self-love card there. So it's saying you need to kind of recharge your energies here a little bit. And I think ultimately, we definitely need a bonus card here. Let's pull a bonus card. Let's pull it from Self-Care deck. Just because of the way I put those together, let's see how we do. We can always reorder them. That's the beauty of card readings, is that we can come up with ways to always reorganize the spread. Okay, we've got action. And it says, take action. The journey to find your lost self begins with one step. What I'm getting to is that you are, I'm really viewing this to be more of a transition card for you. It's like you're aware of on what step you're on, and you're pretty aware that you are moving into this, it might be a new path, you know, and you're aware that like you want to be on a different step than the step that you're on. You're very aware of this. And this could be you wanting to attract the right people into your life. It could be one person in particular, or just, you know, the people that make you feel supported and good. This is the soulmate card here. And it comes up as red in that deck, which is root chakra. So that is about feeling strong, stable, and secure. From the Astro dice, we have Uranus in the 9th in Aquarius. So Uranus is actually the ruler of Aquarius. So this tells me that for you guys, this is more about groups and communities because it's Uranus and it's Aquarius, and it's the 9th house here. So you're looking for more positive friendships in your life. You're looking for more positive colleagues in your life. You're looking for a more supportive, you know, community for you to belong to in your life. I think that maybe you've gone through something where people have been very like, you know, a little bit immature and gossipy and just like, you know, not as mature as they could be with how they've been communicating with you or how they've been acting even. And you're aware that, you know, you really do deserve more than this because we have the Queen of Pentacles card, which is, you know, this beautiful energy of like knowing your worth and knowing your value and knowing that you deserve to receive more than you currently receive. So to me, this Queen of Pentacles card with the self-love card, they really do go together. It's like you may have also been doing a lot of work on self-love and self-worth a lot lately. And this is mirroring that because you've been doing that self-love work, it's actually now starting to manifest in the physical. It's reorganizing your life in a way where you're calling in and attracting in more things that are a match to your sense of personal power and your sense of value, you know? So I really love this for you, pile 2. Also, the fact that you do have the 9th house energy tells me that you want that new community, these new associations to be really positive. You want to be able to learn from them. You know, you want them to feel like they're almost like mentors in your life, or that you can mentor them. You know, the 9th house also carries this energy of like higher learning. So, you know, if you're in this group and you're also thinking about even like doing higher study, you know, something with schooling, this is saying that it will serve you well to shift into a frequency with your schooling. Or even like, let's say you're in a job where it's like the people are just like, you feel like you can do better than this. You feel like you're kind of smarter than they are, even, you know, a little bit. And maybe you have this urge of like, yeah, I've got to shift gears. I've got to shift into a different job. Or maybe I've got to like, you know, look at how I can skill up a little bit. You know, do I have to learn some new technologies or some new things here with this group? But because you have that Queen of Pentacles card, I feel like you're pretty strong on this path of success for aligning with these new groups and communities. But you definitely have to hold strong to self-love right now. And remember that, you know, not in a way that's like, I know better than you, you know, but remember kind of where you're at. It's like these are different, very different frequencies, the Page of Swords versus the Queen of Swords, you know? So kind of check yourself and be like, all right, you know, if you can, especially in the moment, if you can catch it and be like, they're being real Page of Swords, and I'm just going to hold strong to be in my Queen of Swords self. I'm going to recognize the power of my voice. I'm going to recognize my self-worth, Queen of Pentacles, and I'm just going to recognize that I'm not aligning with this frequency anymore, and I am going to be, you know, shifting gears here. So it's just a matter of like me manifesting that, you know, and I think that you are. Because as part of your self-love, it also involves taking action. You know, it also involves taking steps forward for you to get to where you want to be. And if you were by chance drawn to pile number 1 and pile number 2, both of them, this pile is definitely a continuation of the energy messages for pile 1. Pile 1 just had a little bit of things to kind of calibrate. I feel like you are very aware. You're a little bit more stable with this, with what you got to do. But if you were drawn to both piles, I definitely would recommend going and listening to pile 1, because that might give you some tips on how you can approach this action plan if you're feeling like you were drawn to that pile and you're still a little stuck. I'm going to pull another bonus card for you guys. Maybe 2 more actually, because we've got a lot of energy in this, this pile. So what further messages does pile 2 need to understand? See, hear, feel. And see, hear, feel, and understand right now is usually how it's stated. Pile number 2 peeps. What do they need to do? Pile number 2 peeps. All right, 2 cards kind of want to come out. All right, we got 2 from Chakra Wisdom. Ha! So good. So you have impatience and impasse. You guys can see that. Impatience and impasse. And this is orange, which is sacral chakra, and then blue, which is throat chakra. So the way I'm interpreting this is that this to me is like this impasse card. I feel like this is just saying, like, for where you are right now in the situation you're in, it feels like you're very stuck. And in a sense, it's real. Like, you actually are limited in how you can grow in the situation that you're in, you know? And you might be really impatient about that because you're so aware that this situation, you know, isn't actually supporting you to grow and move forward anymore, that you actually are starting to feel so impatient about it. Another interpretation of this impatience card could be, this is like an added layer to the Page of Swords card. You know, it's like people that are more immature in their communication can be, you know, they can have anger issues, they can be like really impatient, they can lash out, they can project, they can gossip, you know. So this could be like people around you too are just like really impatient with their communication. You know, they're not really nurturing or supporting to you in the way that you deserve to be nurtured and supported. And you see that now. You see that very clearly for what it is. Maybe in a way that you didn't see as clearly 3 months ago or 4 months ago, you know, or even recently, like 2 months ago or even 1 month ago. I think these are really new shifts that you're very aware of after we've come off of that full moon and Cap and this entire eclipse season, you know, the cycle of the new full and, you know, the 3 new full moons we went through. So have patience with yourself in this process because you are overcoming this. I really do see you overcoming this. Let's pull one more card just for a little more oomph. I really just see you overcoming this, especially with the 9th house here. It's also about, you know, luck and good luck and Jupiterian blessings. So luck is on your side. One more message here for pile number 2 about where this is going. What can they receive for comfort, healing, and peace right now? Pile number 2. Got a couple that wanted to come out there. And I'm also drawn on the card. You could see that he's on the ladder and he's reaching up towards kind of this really cool like orb in the sky. You know, it's not a moon, but we could say it's a moon if we'd like. So this is you reaching towards this new thing, which is what we have here as well with this action card. If I cover up the action, it's the same type of energy, right? Of you're following a new path now. You know, 9th house is also journeying, traveling. So this is movement, you know, you're moving out of this, you're moving away from this, and you see that now clearly for what it is, and you're moving away. And how good is this? From Tarot bonus cards, we have 10 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and then we have 4 of Wands in reverse. So you know this isn't home, this situation. This doesn't feel like home anymore, you know. The fact that it's in reverse, this is like not a happy home environment anymore. It could literally be your home, or it could be a job home, or a group home, or a friend home. There's so many different versions of home and community we experience, right? You're aware that this doesn't feel like home anymore, so you're moving towards your happy place. You're moving towards what does feel like joy, celebration, and love. And I think that the reason why we're not getting a clear, like a super clear, like it's here right now, is because this is in progress. The action card just fell down. So it's like the energy is moving. This is requiring you to take action steps towards this new path. And you might be a little bit impatient with this process as you have to do that. But I do see you moving towards that. And really your job right now is to remain strong. Hold on to that Queen of Swords energy, be very logical and direct. You know, sometimes you don't have to always say everything, you know, and really be making sure that you're taking time for self-love. A really good affirmation for you guys would be, I love and approve of myself. You can say that like literally over and over and over again. I love and approve of myself. I love and approve of myself. Because the truth is that it's the law of the universe that, you know, you will be energetically matched in frequency to what is most like to the energy that you're embodying, right? So if you're embodying this energy of clear intellect, being balanced with your communication, being loving, being aware of your self-worth, they literally cannot stay attached to you. Uranus also is detachment, you know, and we have Uranus in Aquarius. So this is detaching from groups and communities that just don't align with that frequency anymore. And it's like they can't stay attached to you if you are vibrating at a different frequency now. So the more that you put work into vibrating at that new frequency, the better you are to make this detachment occur in the best way possible, because it will become like universally just like, boop, going separate ways, you know. But this is a little bit of a process that you're in right now, and you know, these messages are for mid-July. So my hope is that for you guys, as we get towards the end of July, which will be Leo season, the energy will start to, you know, be manifesting clear changes about all this work you've been doing, you know, potentially even into August. But I'm really feeling like, you know, this is a Cancer season versus Leo season story for you. So you're in the self-love piece, you're in the action, following the new journey piece right now, and that's kind of what you need to be aware of, what you need to be present to, but you are shifting and moving into something new here. So much love, pile 2, sending you all so much love and light. And thanks for watching my channel. Make sure to leave a comment if that resonated with you, like this video, and subscribe. Okay, pile number 3 peeps, let's see what we got for you. First, I'm gonna pull your Astro dice. There, just bounce it in. Let's play your Astro dice before I forget. Very interesting. We'll talk about that shortly. And let's see what you got. So I'm looking at these for the first time just like you are. Funny. Okay, so we have keep your eyes open. Joy lives in small places. Keep your eyes open. Joy lives in small places. Reflect. We have Page of Wands in reverse. Card is really not showing up too good. I'm hoping that you guys can see it a little better. Page of Wands in reverse. We have the Hanged Man, and this is actually coming up in reverse. We have Perfection. We have Forgiveness. So cute. It's got a real purple vibe there, and I don't know if that shows up very well, but it's got a purple rhino and then this little boy who's nestled inside this purple rhino. And then from the Astro dice, we have Virgo in the 5th, and we have also Venus here. So you guys have a very different energy frequency than the first two piles. So it's possible that you guys may have been like, it's pile 3, no question about it. You might not have necessarily been drawn to pile 1 or 2. If you were, definitely go back and rewatch one of those piles if they were resonating with you. But I get the sense that pile number 3 peeps, you were like, yeah, it's this one, and I'm really clear it's this one. Because this energy message here is pretty different than the others. And we do have a little bit of like mix and match energy here. I'm gonna pull a couple more cards to just take this a little bit deeper. So pile 3, what more do we need to understand for pile 3? Okay, no for that. Go back over here. Got one more there. And pile 3. Got one more there. Okay. So clarification cards, we have practice present moment awareness. The meaning you yearn for lives in the ever-present now. And this is awareness. So we have awareness and reflect. Okay. This particular card, this awareness card, it's interesting because it has like a blending of literally orange and red to make this kind of brown coloring. So you may be working on sacral chakra and root chakra, but it's almost like you're not even clear yourself which one needs your attention more right now, you know, and you might be reflecting on like, what is it exactly that I'm working on in my life right now? Am I working on my creativity, my sexuality, my sense of personal power, which is sacral chakra? Or am I working on my sense of stability, my sense of security in the world, you know, finances and housing, which is root chakra? I think that you're actually reflecting on like what needs healing the most right now. And because we do have Virgo, which is about healing, you know, and being of service and doing work on healing and being of service, and we do have Venus in the 5th, you know, this is like kind of Venus and Leo vibes here. So this is also about creativity and artistry. And it might even be something where you're really questioning if like your art has the value that you think it has. You know, you could be like torn between your desire to express yourself, express your creativity in your art, and your desire to do work and like to be of service. And there's almost maybe part of you that's reflecting on like, can I actually make a career or a job out of my art? You know, there could be something that you're reflecting about there. And I think that part of it is that you might be being really critical on yourself, because we have red for root chakra here. And this card specifically says, you know, perfection. And there's always a story, you know, in the guidebook. This deck is a little different, and there's always a story that goes along with, you know, these cards. So let me just tune in, you know, so it says inspiration. Are you being too hard on yourself and consequently on others? Begin to look for what's right and good in your world, and you will see it, you know. And the story here is that Raspberry needs no makeup to accentuate her exquisite features, but she wears it anyway. She is a perfectionist. She speaks the truth at all times, believing that she is helping others by sharing her truth. While statements such as your child is overweight are honest, they make others avoid her. Lonely, she seeks the advice of her favorite elderberry, who teaches her that honesty without kindness is cruel. Her new vulnerability allows her to see the beauty in others as well as in herself. It says key ideas: alienating others, feeling alienated, seeking perfection, deeply desiring love, transformation ahead. Keywords: uniqueness, friendship, and acceptance. So I think that you're kind of going through it, that it's like you're going through it and it's very internal right now. You know, Virgo also carries this energy of like, yeah, I myself am really strong Virgo. So it carries this energy of like, if there's a flaw, like I'm aware of a flaw on my face, right? Like I'm aware of my flaws like all the time, you know? So it's like, you might be like so fixated on your flaws and like what you don't have or like what's missing that you're having trouble seeing the beauty, you know, in yourself and the gifts you have to give, you know? And, let's go a bit more into the other cards here. We also have forgiveness, you know, with the purple rhino and the little boy there. So to me, this is representing a lot of inner child healing that needs to take place, and a lot of forgiveness of just yourself and like where you are and how you've kind of gotten to this space and the situation that you're in. Like, it's okay that you're in this, whatever situation you're in, it's okay that you're in it, you know? And, you know, the people that pick this pile would also benefit from things like the Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer, which is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. You can keep saying that over and over and over again to just release stuck toxic energy, you know, that you feel like is trapping you and preventing you from holding new space for new love in your life. You also can play that on YouTube. Like, there's totally YouTube videos you can find where it's like literally the Ho'oponopono prayer just like plays on repeat for like an hour. So you could play that in the background too. And I think part of this criticism is coming from the fact that you feel super duper stuck. You know, we've got the Hanging Man card and it's in reverse. So even just upright Hanging Man is like delays, you know, a little bit of delays, things not occurring like as immediately as you would like. But the fact that it's reversed, it's like telling me that this is not necessarily like universal delays. This is you feeling like super stuck and delayed. You know, this is you saying like, I really don't understand why I can't get ahead, you know. And part of this stuckness is, you know, about your sense of personal power, because we have Page of Wands and this is coming up in reverse. So, you know, pages are messengers in the tarot and the wands represent that fire element, that, you know, enthusiasm for life. So there's part of this here where it's like you just don't even know what you feel enthused about anymore. You know, it's like you don't have that mental clarity. It's like the messages seem to be like not coming through. You know, if you're an artist, maybe you haven't been feeling really inspired lately, or like, you know, you very well could be with Venus and the 5th house here. You could be some type of artist, you know. Maybe you haven't been feeling really inspired lately. Or maybe it's like, you know, that you need to be manifesting something, but you're not even sure what that is, you know? So the reason why, and it's just not the criticism about it. Like the criticism about how stuck you are on top of being stuck isn't really helping, you know? But you do have 2 cards here about just take some time, you know, take some extra naps, take some time to meditate and really get in tune with what your guidance is. You know, what is it that you want to work on? Like, you can work on anything right now. You know, you got the Virgo energy here, so it's like part of the solution that you're looking for might also be just like step by step. You know, we did have some messages kind of in the first 2 piles a little bit about like small action steps, and you know, the first 2 piles really played off each other really well. You guys are in a different kind of phase of your manifesting here, where it's like you're almost not quite even sure what to manifest. You're not even sure like what it is you want to be manifesting. And I think that this is because you've sort of lost your mojo a little bit. It's like you've lost your sense of like personal power, confidence. You might be like very overly critical of yourself right now for being in the predicament that you're in, and you really need to and you really need to do some forgiveness work. You need to connect with your inner child, you know. how is it that you connect with your inner child? I can tell you right now, like, definitely like 2 or 3 ways that I have, not right away, I didn't have this awareness, but over time walking the spiritual path, I've learned ways to embrace my inner child. And those are like go-to techniques I have to tap into my inner child and healing that part of myself that can be overly critical. So you might need to work on what that is for you. You might need to work on setting up an inner child altar, you know, and just doing some more forgiveness work, because the 5th house is also related to children, you know, and we have Virgo here. So this is really about like healing your inner child, and in so doing, like healing this relationship you have with yourself that might be a little bit flawed. Not, I don't want to say flawed, but it's like your relationship with yourself is a little bit out of tune right now. It's like an instrument that's like out of tune, and you need to do a little bit of work to tune it up, you know? And I think that that involves some forgiveness work of yourself. It involves some reflection, you know, it involves taking some time to just like go more within and say like, okay, what is it I'm aware of needs changing? What is it feels good to me? You know, do a lot of journaling. Virgo can also be the energy of writing as well. I'm going to pull a couple more cards for you guys. We had this extra one here. I forgot to talk about it. Let's pull one more from this. One more from this. Okay. 3 more bonus cards for you guys. Okay, so I pulled a whole bunch of extra cards for you guys. I feel like you need some extra love and support right now, so let's get into it. We've got, from Cheryl Richardson's deck, we have listening. This is a 3rd message here about taking time to tune in to intuitive guidance and really tuning into what your higher self, what your inner child even have to say. We have support. So I feel like this is also about maybe you need some advice right now. You know, maybe you need to receive some extra support and guidance about what needs shifting and changing. You might actually need to take some time to work with a mentor or go a little deeper. I definitely am going to give a shout out to my website. You can look at all my offerings. I do private card readings. I do astrology sessions. If that's something that interests you, check it out. You know, all my different offerings on my website. Even just crawl some time on my blog. I have lots of articles. I published one recently of 5 archangels you need to be working with right now. So go and get some nourishment in your life. Go and listen to, consume supportive messages, supportive guidance, because I think you need something to like trigger more of a light bulb moment, and you're kind of just in this like a little bit of a stuck place here. And we have vanity and creation. So part of this might be like, this actually I pulled together with the 3 of Pentacles. So there might be something here where it's like a group that you're in, whether it be a friend group or even just work colleagues or something, where people are like actually quite, this is going to sound, you're going to be shocked, but they might even be jealous of you. You know, they might even be like, whoa, this person is so talented. They're so on point, you know, they're so like able to just like create things and turn things around, and like for some reason they have a lot of difficulty in celebrating you for that. They have a lot of difficulty in honoring you for that, and their reaction, because they may be coming from a different vibration out of not being loving to themselves, their reaction is to sort of project on you, you know, or make you feel like, oh yeah, it's not that good, you know, because they are themselves jealous. And then this to me is really the take it home card, is the Fool, which totally just fell down. So I think it fell down like way below, but I can tell you what that card is. So the Fool card is about taking risks, a leap of faith, you know, just trusting yourself that even if you do kind of change your mind, you're like unplugged from the situation, this can be a fresh start for you. But I think that you're still in a very, look at what's for you guys. I think that you're still in a really receptive phase about what needs changing in your life. Unlike the previous 2 piles, which were like super like, yeah, we're manifesting this shiznit, but they had different messages about their manifestations and like the why and the how. You guys are still kind of like, yeah, I don't quite know what my next manifestation is. I know that there's things I don't like, but I also at the same time know that I'm experiencing a lot of doubt and like inner turmoil about what my gifts are. And that could be even something with the people around you. Like, do you have really critical friends? You know, do you have really critical like work colleagues, or like, do you feel like you can't really create, you know, or express yourself? This could be you. Are you the jealous one? Are you looking at what other people create and you're like, oh, well, I'm not that good, you know, so I'll never get there. I think that you guys have to take some time to really look at your self-talk, to look at who's around you. Where is this negative energy coming from? And how can you actively work, you know, on receiving support to shift that frequency? Because that might also be what's blocking you from understanding what it is that needs shifting and changing in your life. So if you pick this pile, you do have some work to do here around inner child healing, you know, forgiving yourself, really looking at like, what are the sources of negative energy in your life? Is it from you and your self-talk? Is it from a combination of your self-talk plus the people around you? You know, but your energy here, it just shows me that it's like, it's drained, and you don't, and it's coming from, it's being drained because of this overly critical energy, not feeling like you're clear on your gifts, not feeling like you're enthusiastic about anything. And that's making you feel like so stuck, you know, with this reversed hangman card. So you guys have to take some time to reconnect with the fact that you are so valuable, that you have amazing creative gifts to share, that you are important, you matter, you know. So some affirmations work would be really healing for you guys. The Ho'oponopono prayer would be really good for you guys. I'm giving you a lot of love in here, so there are people that will listen to you, that will support you. You can manifest who those people are, you know. I'm going to give you guys even more love in. I'm going to throw another card on this. Pile number 3. You will get there. You know, you have achievement here. Chase your dreams. You may be surprised by where they lead you. You will get there. You will get to where you want to be. It's just that you're in a phase where you have to get more precise about what you're manifesting. You have to maybe do some energetic clearing work. You know, I do have a chakra clearing curriculum on my website that I wrote, where I teach people about how to clear each of their chakras and clear their energies. So you guys have a little bit of work to do before you can be more clear on what it is that you're manifesting, but I see you getting there. It's just that this might require a little bit of shifting of maybe the people around you, or the way you think about the situation, you know, or even just like actually taking time to slow down and ask yourself, what is it, you know, ask myself as in, this is the way you should talk to yourself. I need to ask myself, what is it that I want to manifest in my life? What is it that needs healing in my life? You need to take some time, you know, this Virgo energy in the 5th, you need to take some time to manifest, take some time to write and think about what you want to manifest, but maybe actually put it in writing, you know. So I'm sending you so much love, pile number 3. Please go and get some extra time to listen to what your guides have to say, to what your inner child has to say. Go and get some support, some mentorship if that's calling to you, because you guys need a little bit, you need even more than what I can give right now. So please take the time to give that gift to yourself. You deserve it, okay? Much love, pile number 3. So I'm going to now shift gears here to go over the Astro of some of the things with the full moon. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but I do want to go over some things. I'm just going to tidy up a smidge because my Virgo self is like, it's too messy, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's get into some Astro. I have the chart ready here for the full moon in Capricorn with the eclipse energy attached to it that we experienced last weekend. I'm going to share my screen so we can talk about this. Now, I'm not going to be going super in depth into this chart because I do that in my Astro Fairy group, but I do want to talk about a couple highlights of the energy in this chart. And let me scroll down a small bit. I've also plotted several extra asteroids because I've been working with certain feminine asteroid goddesses a lot more lately, and there's one in particular that has some really interesting stuff with this particular full moon eclipse that I want to talk about. So I'm drawn to talk about the Mars conjunct Chiron first, which actually at the time of recording this for you guys, that is actually where the moon is right now. So that might be why I'm very drawn there. Give this a quick second. So yeah, the moon is right there. The moon is transiting at 10 degrees of Aries. So right now the moon is on Chiron. And the moon and Chiron are actually, the moon is on Chiron right now, and then Chiron at the time of this full moon and the eclipse was really close to Mars, you know. And let's see where Mars is right now. Mars is now up to 8 degrees of Aries. So those three energies are completely in bed with each other right now. Mars, Chiron, and Moon. So this is a super important piece of this puzzle. You know, I'm trying to do a little bit of the full moon and cap, but also the current energies because we are in between the both worlds. So this Chiron in Aries, especially with the moon over it right now at the time of this recording, is the wounds that you have about yourself are definitely coming up front and center to be healed. These could be wounds around feeling impatient that you don't have certain things in your life right now. You might be saying like, oh, well, it's something wrong with me. You know, like I'm not strong enough, I'm too weak, or this or that. There definitely could be this like deflated quality to your Mars because we've got Mars, Chiron so close together. So it's like you feel wounded, like you don't have the strength or energy to take action. You feel like you're not strong enough to overcome these circumstances. But the truth is that you will get through this. You know, it could feel a little bit wounding to your Mars, like some things you're going through, but you will get through this, you know, especially as we do transition into Leo season, which is going to be coming up in like another week and a half from the time I'm recording this. We're going to move into a place of more fire, so that will alchemize better with the Mars energy. Right now, we have still so many energies in Cancer. We have Mercury in Cancer. The sun is moving, as you can see, pretty far along through Cancer. So, you know, but that Mercury, which was retrograde and has now gone direct, it's still kind of on and off, squaring over to that Mars. So Mercury here is at 5 degrees of Cancer. So it's actually, you know, not even up to the place where that Mars is, but they're still squaring each other because they're playing this game where like one is catching up, but it's actually, and one is just advancing without any retrograde, but they're still having that tension. So this is tension between your mind and your feelings and like your sense of awareness that you have to take some time for self-care and to nurture your inner child, to spend nurturing time in your thoughts, you know, with how you take care of yourself, like cozy time with yourself, right? This could also be family time, you know, but that would be a little bit more Mars in Cancer. But there's definitely a need here for you to take some time to be tendering in your thoughts and loving to yourself. But at the same time, you know, Mars in Aries is about taking action. It's the warrior that's in, you know, the warrior planet. Definitely check out on my blog, juliannefay.com/blog. You can see a post that I did not that long ago called What Kind of Warrior Are You? Astro Quiz. It's a really fun read where you can look at different types of Mars placements and the different archetypes. This blog post is also on the ephemeris.co blog, which if you're subscribed to my email newsletter, which goes out twice a month, I always share in my email newsletter the newest blog updates. So I highly recommend you go to my site and make sure you're signed up for my email newsletter because you'll get caught up to speed with every article I write and all of the latest things, the best way to stay informed. Even better than social media, I think, because it's all in one place, super organized, super beautiful. I love putting those email newsletters together, so I'd love for you to subscribe to that. So yeah, we've got a bit of a competition here between the need for self-care and having, you know, this tender, loving, kind of cozy vibe, you know, thoughts and feels with yourself and your inner world, your inner environment, your home life, versus the true recognition of like, yeah, there's certain things in my life, they're not where I want them to be, and that sucks, but that's also going to require me to take action on them. It's going to require me to take some initiative and, you know, put some work, warrior energy into it to make those shifts happen. So right now we don't want to get too stuck in the Cancer energy, and we don't want to get too stuck in the Mars Chiron energy, because then you won't go anywhere and you won't do anything, and you'll just be so paralyzed between your feelings and feeling wounded, and it's just not going to feel good. So you have to work on balancing these two energies, you know. I'm going to shift gears here. I want to talk about the asteroid here, which is Vesta. And as you can see, Vesta at the time of this chart, which was for the full moon in Capricorn, was at 13 degrees of Cancer. It was actually conjunct the sun in Cancer. And my mind was blown, like that gif with the like, you know, my mind was truly blown because I was studying these asteroid goddesses, and I had just finished the chapter on Vesta, and I was like, let me look up in my chart where my Vesta is and where Vesta is right now. And lo and behold, my Vesta was at 13 degrees of Cancer, exactly where the Vesta was transiting and was opposing this full moon. So it was like, you can't make this stuff up. So crazy that I was studying it and learning about it. And then that's actually where it was transiting and being impacted by the full moon and the eclipse was where mine is. So I was really like receiving and integrating the lessons of that particular placement at that time, and how crazy that I was studying it and like that awareness hit at that time, you know. So Vesta represents definitely our relationship with, it's associated with Virgo and Scorpio energies, and it represents our relationship with, it can be the home, but it's also kind of like our maidenhood, you know, and it's our relationship with who we are intimate with, and to an extent our sexuality. It also represents our energies related to attachment and not so much bonding, because that is more Ceres, but it represents like who we allow to receive our healing energies, really at its core. Who's kind of worthy of commingling with us, you know, and the way we approach those relationships can come from a very powerful place, or it can come from a very fragmented space. And the caution with Vesta in Cancer is that we can become very, the shadow side of it is that we can become very emotionally needy. It's like we need to understand that we will be taken care of in order to feel safe to commingle with that person, place, or thing. You know, we need to have this understanding that we're going to receive that TLC in order to be able to like give our full healing powers in union with that person, place, or thing, which is that is healthy to have that, right? It's healthy to understand like I'm going to be well taken care of by being with this person, place, or thing. And the shadow side of it though can be like the desire to understand that TLC factor, like we could become fixated, you know, on like trying to understand that we're going to get those needs met, and we have to make sure that we're also able to generate those needs for mothering and TLC from within ourselves as well. So because this sun conjunct Vesta opposing the moon in Capricorn, it's like there could have been a lot of energies that came up around this, you know, full moon in Capricorn, where you were just so painfully aware of the ways in which you weren't being cared for, loved, you know, nurtured, supported, adored, all these things. It's like you became so painfully aware of that, the fact that the tender loving care was broken, that you decided like, okay, this is just like enough is enough, and maybe I need to break it, you know, because the moon in Capricorn is carrying that Saturnian energy, and it's looking at maybe this just isn't part of the path anymore, you know. You might have had to dial kind of your emotions back a bit, because maybe you were like very attached to certain emotional frequencies at that time, and like, this is how I need you to make me feel kind of stuff. But then it's like you reach a tipping point, because remember that Vesta is the archetypes of Virgo and Scorpio both. So it swings from kind of like one extreme to the other, right? But Virgo and Scorpio are both very, very powerful about boundaries. So it's like you reach a point where you're like, yeah, you know what? This boundary has been crossed too many times. And I even see how, because this is so not serving me, it's actually now starting to make me behave in this situation from an unhealthy manner. And I see more clearly that I was too attached, and that maybe I've got to, you know, go a little more Virgo Scorpio on this, and I've got to clean it up. I've got to kind of cut my ties, you know, cut my losses, and I've got to find a way to restructure this situation. I've got to find a way to work a new plan now, you know. So this could definitely carry some energy around, you know, breakups, or just like not necessarily following all the way through with it, but the idea is, the seed is planted at this full moon about this imbalance around emotional attachments and what's got to change. It's like this illuminated it for you. You're aware of what has to change, you know. So you're spending now the next 2 weeks after this full moon in Capricorn really taking the time to go Virgo and Scorpio on it, you know, and say like, all right, the situation no longer serves me. I've got to clean it up, and I've got to figure out a way to transform through this, you know. So really powerful stuff, intense, but powerful, you know. And the support that we have here is, we could see that Venus, you know, is within the first 10 degrees of Gemini. Saturn is here at the end of Capricorn. It did move back into Capricorn. So we do have support here from our friend groups. You know, friends could be very supportive right now to us during these transitions that we're going through. This can also be facts and information, you know, doing research could also really be helpful to us right now. And we also have a really beautiful Mars-Venus sextile that's being integrated from that full moon as well, which is like Mars is able to communicate with that Venus. So if you take action to call a friend or do that research, Mars will be like, I got your back. You know, I will give you the mojo to like do that research, to put those words together, to say what has to be said, or call that friend, or write that email, or do those things, you know. Mars is unfortunately is a little wounded though with that Chiron there, and he's squaring over to Mercury, so he's not in his full capacity. He's sort of at like 35% of who he'd like to be, but he's still there, you know. So there is a lot going on in this chart. I would definitely encourage, if you want to go deeper with astrology, definitely check out my Astro Fairy membership, because I do recordings for the week, for each week, and I do a full month ahead forecast with a key aspect for each week. And if you're in Astro Fairy, you also get access to a discount on private readings with me. We have a private Facebook group. It's a really great place. So, and your first month is free. So highly recommend you check that out if you're interested in it, and it's super low cost, affordable. I am going to unplug from this chart here because I get so enthralled. I love astrology so much. I can keep going and going. But I really, really wanted to talk about that Vesta, that whole Vesta story with this chart, because it's so fascinating, so fascinating. And it's also important to be remembering that kind of Aries square Capricorn's, or sorry, Aries square Cancer story that's going on. Technically, the Chiron and Mars did also square over to the moon in Capricorn, so those planets are kind of getting hit pretty hard. But there's a lot of competing energies going on, you know, so this might require you to just keep checking in this present moment. What is the medicine I need right now? What is my next best action step right now, you know, and just breaking it down piece by piece by piece by piece, you know, and you will get to where you want to be. Part of the lesson of this Merc retro in Cancer was about diving deeper into your feelings and your emotional attachments. And I think that certain things were brought up from the eclipses, you know. We've got also the new moon coming in Cancer, closer, well, it's about a week and about 10 days from now. So that's going to bring us, you know, to the other side of this cycle, and things might start to feel differently moving forward from that spot. So please make sure that you're subscribed to my email newsletter. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel if you'd like to receive more updates on the constantly shifting and changing beautiful energies of the universe. It's a beautiful universe, but a complex one. So we have to study it, and we have to kind of track it and study it and honor it daily, because it's always changing and there's always lessons. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and fairy kisses. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I look forward to seeing / talking / helping you all soon. Much love.